Hey, Josh Tigg, Running T Farms, morning cattle move here. This is the first move of the day. We are actively calving. Just wanted to take a minute here and so obviously I'm in the business of raising beef, 100% grass-fed beef, but I still subscribe to several beef publications. They send me emails, a couple times a week with interesting articles and stuff, but most of them are mainstream feedlot confinement animal feeding type stuff. And over the last, I guess it's because possibly the time of year, but they've been sending me emails. I got one last week talking about the dramatic increase that they've seen in congestive heart failure in cattle on feed. And I was reading the article thinking, wow, I was expecting them to say it's because you've put a animal in an unnatural environment and you're feeding them an unnatural diet. So these cattle are ruminants. They're made to eat forage, not high energy grain rations, but that's what most 90+% of the cattle in the United States end up in, a confined animal feeding operation, eating high energy forages. So if I got me to thinking, so I just Googled up, and of course I'm no doctor, but just Googled up congestive heart failure in people, and it's basically the same thing. Eating an unhealthy diet and living an unhealthy lifestyle. Now with us people, we get to choose what we eat and what type of lifestyle we live. Our livestock don't. If they get loaded up and put on a trailer and sent and put in a feedlot, they have no choice but to eat what's in front of them. And it wasn't 2 days later, there were different publications sent out a email to an article talking about all the respiratory disease that they're having, in the piles and piles of antibiotic use that they use to treat and try to prevent respiratory disease in these cattle on feed. And when they're shipped across the country to go to these feedlots, the stress from feeding and shipping, and then they take them and put them in a dirt lot, lots of dust, they feed them an unnatural diet, and they give them copious amounts of antibiotics to try to get them healthy or keep them healthy. And it's the same scenario. So I'm reading this article thinking, wow, they're going to say, hey, we should really be trying to figure out a different way to produce cattle, because we know that when we put an animal in an unnatural environment from what it's designed to do, which is graze grass, and we feed it an unnatural diet, that they get sick just like people. But that's not the case. They just keep telling you how to vaccinate more and use antibiotics more judiciously and more of them and proper timing. And it just baffles me. A lot like I feel like our medical system in the United States, they just continually want to treat the symptoms and they don't want to treat the underlying problems. So we don't use any pesticides on our cattle. We don't use any dewormers. We don't use it. No antibiotic use, except for in the rare event that we do have an animal get sick, get cut, get an infection, and we will obviously administer antibiotics, just like if I was sick and needed antibiotics, I would want some. So, but those animals that have had antibiotics, we do. They are marked in our computer, a physical mark on their tag, and we don't sell those animals into our 100% grass-fed beef side. So, obviously, we're going to take care of the animals, but we just don't see the need for it. We have used those in the past. When we first got started almost 10 years ago, we followed the recommendations for, just conventional production, and we didn't just turn those off willy-nilly. we started doing some trials. You know, when we stopped deworming, we dewormed half the herd and didn't deworm the other half the herd to observe what happened. We thought that we had our management in place in such a way that we would be able to get away from that through our grazing management. And that's exactly what we found when we did those split trials. Actually, the group that we did not deworm slightly outperformed the group that we did deworm. And it was very marginal, but essentially no difference. So we cut out the dewormer, we cut out the fly control. And we've continued to refine our genetics by putting a good bit of pressure, just natural pressure on these cows. And we're getting there. We're not there, but we're getting there. But we've got a healthy herd of cattle. And I think as the word spreads, you know, it's not like I'm the only one doing this. There are lots of producers out there doing this. And I think a lot of conventional producers just think it can't be done, or they're going to take such a hit to production that they wouldn't be able to survive. And, you know, that's not the case. It does take a big shift in mindset. You have to change the way you see things. And that's what we've done. And you know, I think going forward, there's a lot of good people out there. I am not throwing rocks at people who feed cattle. They're doing what they know how to do. They're doing what they've invested a lot of money in infrastructure to do. But I think there is a better way. And I think that sticking your head in the sand and claiming ignorance to the possibilities of a lot more natural production system is going to get harder and harder to do. And we found that the people who trust us to provide them with clean 100% grass-fed beef, you know, that's what they're looking for. And I would encourage, you know, we are taking deposits on beef right now. So if you're looking for clean 100% grass-fed beef, raised environmentally responsible in a regenerative manner, I would go as far to say, you know, if you're concerned about antibiotic use in animals, confined animal feeding, you know, the best way that you can take control of that situation is to buy your beef, you know, from somebody like us. I'm not saying you have to buy it from us. You should probably seek out somebody that's close by you that is raising beef, and you're going to have to ask questions of your farmers. That's why we post these videos on YouTube and all that, because we know not everybody can get out here, has the time to call us up and talk to us, send us emails and all that. So we post these videos of how we're managing our cattle, so that you can have confidence in how your food is being raised in a manner, you know, that consists of a natural manner here with good, clean beef. So I would encourage everybody, if who's interested in you know, animal husbandry, the health of animals, that, you know, they don't get any healthier than when you put them in a natural environment doing what they were born to do, which is, you know, they're herd animals. They're here in a herd grazing. They're going to move into a fresh patch here. These cattle are moving every 4 hours onto a fresh patch of grass. Obviously, we don't have wolves and predators anymore to keep them in the herd, so that's why we use, you know, this poly wire. That's essentially the predator effect that keeps these cows in a herd. They're more comfortable in a herd, and then they will progress through the rest of these paddocks, grazing nothing but grass, and, you know, the forbs and stuff that's in there with them. So hope everybody has a fantastic day. You can check us out online at runningtbeef.com. You can like us on Facebook at Running T Beef. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that like and subscribe button on your way out. And I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.